Alrighty, so guys, we got a 2000 Buick Century. I don't know if you got to hear this on the mic or not. I'm using the wireless setup, so you may not pick it up, but this thing is chugging. The truck has been the car's been worked on. The both crank sensors have been replaced. This engine is a 3.1, so if you guys are not familiar, these old GM 3.1s had a crank sensor on the front, by the front pulley balancer, and then they had one that was in the block that was between the engine and trans. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get to. The guy that changed it told me he had a problem. He had to pull the oil pan down because they couldn't get it out of the block and whatever. So in the process of replacing these parts, a brake line was destroyed, an axle was destroyed, and they still have the same problem that they had when the car came in. Now, they're only going by the code, and a code reader at that, not even a scan tool. This is where you get burned. I have the Autel on it, okay? Sort of a scan tool. And the codes that I got out of this thing were a P0336, which is a circuit code for one of the crank sensors. I also got a P0171. Now, I have my scope hooked up. I'm going to show you guys. Okay, as you can see, I am hooked up here. I'm hooked up to my 24x signal, my 3x signal, and my cam signal. Now, of course, my computer wants to restart. Right now, that's not really important because I do not have a problem right now with this setting the code. So what I think on this vehicle is that obviously it's an intermittent. So what I think is it may be a harness issue. However, I can't really drive it because I have no brakes. Literally have no brakes on it. So what I'm going to address first is the chugging. All right, that's something I see. It's broke. It's he wants this fixed. He mentioned this specifically, that it's running really rough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into some data. I'm going to take a quick look at what we got. I can get you guys focused in here. I'll leave the Autel right there. I'll see if I can zoom in a bit on the screen so you can see. Let's try that again. All right, so if you look, you can see my fuel trims. My short term, my long term. That's all I'm focused on right now. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. See the correction, right? We got a vacuum leak. So I'm quickly going to go to the normal areas where these things leak, and I'm going to spray around a little. See if you can hear the difference. And you can see it correcting, okay? So my next step, I don't know where it's coming from exactly. I have a suspicion. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a smoke machine on here. I'm going to shut it down and I'm going to smoke it, and we're going to see where we're at. All right, guys, so the way we do the smoke test here, we got the inflatable bladder, okay, inside here. Pump her up. It's nice and plump, tight. Got our smoke machine hooked up, all right? And I noticed something already that I don't like when I was actually taking the air tube off camera. I'm going to zoom you guys in, show you something I don't like at all. If you look, see it behind the bracket? Yeah, bet you that's the vacuum leak. Let's find out. We're gonna smoke her. Let's see what it does. I have the throttle held open with the screwdriver, guys. That's all I had. Just gotta watch it. I'll poke an eye out. But I got a feeling that we're gonna find our smoke right in this area, right here by the throttle body. What do you know? think there's actually smoke somewhere else. So somebody was in here, for sure. It never fails, right? And I see something else. I'm not sure back here if there's a another spot. Let's see if I can get a better look. Gotta get my head in the way here. Oh yeah, something's leaking in the back too. It's a bad leak. What the hell? All right. Let me try to tighten up. Let me try to run that bolt in for the throttle body. Take the boot off. Let's do that first. Get that out of my way. Now, run this guy in. All right, let's see if that cured at least part of this. Yes, it did. Okay, just to fix part of it, but we still have a pretty good leak. Get my big head in the way again, guys. The line's leaking that they broke. Sure looks like it. Doesn't look like it's the intake. Shit, this air tube. That's what it is. We got all kinds of fun things going on here with leaks. That is the grommet under here. Hook the scope back up, just in case we have the crank sensor issue. And we're going to start her up. All right, so once we corrected the bolt problem on this thing and put the tube back, this tube here, right here, that was running to the back of the cover here that was out, we left that out as well. Once we corrected that, that's where your fuel trims are sitting. As far as the cam and cranks, the crank sensor issue, I'm still monitoring that, and I have so far been unable to get it to act up. I'm going to have to fix the brake line on it and drive it, and hopefully we can get it to act up then. I've tried moving the harness around all the basic areas where these things rub through, and haven't been able to come up with anything, so I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time in the bay. I'm going to have to drive this thing, see if it sets the code now that it runs good, and we'll go from there. So if I find something, or if anything that, you know, comes through with that, I will update you guys. Thanks for watching.